on the show yesterday, and of the many questions we asked him, I thought it was interesting. I said, of all these young quarterbacks, Tom, what will you see that I don't identify? What will you see that give you a feeling of, oh, yeah, this is going to work in the NFL as a franchise quarterback?
For me, I think the sustainable part about quarterbacking is really what's up here, is what's in the brain. Are you snapping the ball and running good plays consistently against the defenses that you're out there watching as you're reading the defenses? So much of it to me is the coach giving the quarterback, because he's going to see it every day in practice, the coach and the players, are they giving the quarterback the freedom to make the plays and the decisions that he needs to make to get the team to win?
That sounds very Sean Payton, Bo Nix. That's what that sounds like. That's why I think that's going to work. And Sean has texted me, and Bo Nix and Sean have talked about this, is the ability. Speed is not just mobility. Speed is cognitive. Can you very quickly see it, identify it, and execute it in 1 second? That's Brady, Manning, Mahomes. I've said this before about Mahomes. His ability to see something, identify it, and let it go, it's insane. Only guy I've seen that can see and identify and let go as quickly as Brady, and maybe Marino, maybe Manning. Like Mahomes it's just different. It doesn't look like anybody else. And I've said this for years. Zach Wilson and Justin Fields, mobile, yet sack so much. Don't blame the O-line. Justin Fields and Zach Wilson struggled to see, identify, and let her rip. Sam Darnold, for the record, has struggled with this. Sam Darnold publicly acknowledged last year as a member of the Niners. I'll give some love to Brock Purdy, who J-Mac loves. Sam Darnold said, Brock Purdy cognitively identified things faster than any quarterback he'd play with. That's kind of the gift that certain quarterbacks have. We spend so much time talking about athletic ability and mobility, and it matters. Josh Allen, of course it matters. But it's the ability, as Tom Brady talks about, see it quickly, identify it, let it rip. That's, Mahomes, I don't think, has the arm of Josh Allen. He doesn't run like Lamar Jackson. Brady had a good arm. It wasn't as good as Matt Stafford, maybe not as good as Jay Cutler. This Bo Nix thing's going to work to me because of what Brady talked.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of like a different way how I can kind of address this a little bit. And I think I've found a way. We'll see how it lands. Because we talk about speed and processing and why some people have it and some people don't, and how quick it can be, and why Bo Nix clearly has it, and why him and Sean Payton can be so successful together. And the way to look at it is it's not so much that they're able to kind of go through everything so quickly and so they process it so much. It's that they're a vision to kind of look at something, whether it be the field or any other issue for that matter. They can see everything at the same time, okay? Think about it like a mathematical equation, right? Where it's like 5x plus y minus 4 times 3 plus 7 equals z. Some people have to go through it step by step by step. You actually have like order of operations, right? That's what you're kind of taught when you're younger and you're going through math. And don't focus too hard on the equation. But then you have some people that are rapid fire processing, and they essentially are able to look at it. They can like take a step back. They can read the whole thing at once, almost like a word, right? When you read a word, when you read elephant, okay, you go elephant, elephant. But then when you get really good at it, you just look at it and you just know it's elephant, right? You don't go elephant. You just look at it and your mind recognizes it elephant. It just knows what elephant looks like. It's why we can replace a couple of the letters in the middle of elephant, and yet your mind will still read it as elephant because it just kind of takes a snapshot. Not all people can do that though. Some people, no matter how, and it's not a matter of you not being dumb. It's not a matter of you being smart or dumb. It's just a matter of how your mind works, how your brain works. And some people, no matter what, they will have to go elephant. They will have to go step by step through that equation that I just made up. While other people are able to just to look at it and understand it right away. And there's other people, for instance, whose mind doesn't skip over elephant and for the middle of those letters that are mixed, and they know immediately, okay, that's elephant, but there's no Z in elephant or whatever, right? That's a 0, not an O. You know, like their minds, they don't get tricked on that, right? And you see this a lot with a lot of like optical illusions or some of those brain teasers and stuff. Like some people, they can't get it. Some people can see through it right away. And it's just a matter of how your brain works and how it processes information. And that's kind of what Colin was highlighted about, say, a Brock Purdy or say a Bo Nix or Mahomes and Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, and what maybe some of these other quarterbacks, like say a Justin Fields, because you can almost even see that Justin Fields has to kind of look at everything almost like individually, like, okay, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this. Oh God, someone's coming at me. Boom, sack. Like you can almost kind of see it in a lot of ways. Like a lot of times you just see in their eyes and the way their head moves. While other people, they just seem to that they just got it. They already processed what they're looking at, and then now they're kind of going through their progressions, but it's already on the foundation of understanding what they've already seen, right? It's trying to find Waldo while already recognizing all those like random people in those striped shirts that are not Waldo. I already know that they're already over there. I already know that's some random guy that's not Waldo. So you're able to recognize it rather than just go through it little by little by little. And it matters. It obviously matters. And that's why someone like a Bo Nix goes so underappreciated, because you don't get to really see that. Unless you really understand it, you don't really necessarily see it on the screen. In fact, especially if you never played football or just don't understand it in depth, you really just need someone to tell you that's what's happening. That's what it comes down to. And I think this is like such an underappreciated point, and yet we know the all-time greats all have like rapid abilities to process and to just understand what they're seeing, and they're not easily tricked. They're not easily deceived by the defense. And if they are for a second, they're able to recognize it very quickly. Kind of like, to stick with the Where's Waldo analogy, they're able to recognize immediately, that's just a random dude in a striped shirt. That's not actually Waldo. That's the difference. And so I just think when you combine that with the Bo Nix, when you have Bo Nix who has that ability, and you combine that with a Sean Payton who's going to know how to utilize that to the best of his abilities, I just think that Sean Payton and Bo Nix are just going to be able to really hit the ground running. And that's why there's question marks as who is Caleb Williams? Who is Jaden Daniels? And that is one of those things where, especially a lot of these true athletic freaks of nature, like Caleb Williams, like the Daniels, even the Mahomeses of the world or the Josh Allens, they didn't have to process necessarily. They didn't have to work on that aspect of their game because they didn't need to, because they didn't rely on it going through their career, whether it be from middle school upward. They just didn't. You see this in basketball as well. You see this in basketball with a lot of players who are really big and strong when they're younger, because they hit puberty early, they go through a growth spurt, whatever it may be, and they're already like 6'1", whatever, when they're like 13, 14 years old. And because of that, they use their size and strength throughout their basketball career. And then when they reach a point when everyone else kind of catches up to them or even surpasses them in height, they now don't have the requisite skills. Not to mention they had been playing like center the whole time, and now they've been posting people up, and they're not a post-up player. They're not good enough because there's the other guys just kept growing, and now you're playing with people who are like 6'9", 6'10". And that's what we often see in football, even in the NFL. And it's guys that are good enough to still make it to the NFL, but there's other aspects of their game lacking. And usually when we see this in the NFL, it's usually players that can run a lot, right? That are really physically gifted, who can run. And their other aspects of their game isn't as developed. And that is one of the benefits of having a quarterback who is kind of like, I don't want to say average, but average athleticism, because then that makes them rely on the other fundamental aspects of their game. It forces them to develop what truly makes a quarterback special. Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, I'll even throw Joe Burrow in there, Tom Brady, what makes them special is their ability to process, is their arm, right? It's not their ability to escape, to move around the pocket. You take away their ability, you reduce their ability to escape in the pocket by even more, by 5, 10, 15%, they are still all-time greats. Maybe not as good as they ended up being, but still all-time greats. You take away say 15-20% of, say, like a Lamar Jackson's ability to move around the pocket, to escape, to run, he becomes significantly hampered, because that's what makes him special. And that's what makes Mahomes kind of this next level player, because we're now seeing, what if Tom Brady was mobile? But yet, what has made Patrick Mahomes win majority of his Super Bowls and just be as great as he is, has over the last few years has definitely been less so about his magical athleticism. In fact, his athleticism and his running and all around has been greatly reduced over the last few years. I think it was ever since he kind of got knocked out of that game against the Browns is when they really were like, okay, we're going to do less of this now. I think that's when it was, because I think even Nick Wright kind of pointed that out as well. And that matters. And yet he is still next level special. That's why they do so many different tests for these guys. It's why they have like IQ tests and processing tests and all these other levels of intelligent tests. It's why. It's not perfect science, of course, but they recognize just how important it is. And that you can be confident that Bo Nix is going to be on the higher end of that spectrum. So what does that end up looking like on the field? We are about to find out, and I truly can't wait. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Bo Nix and Sean Payton are going to be, are going to prove to be this match made in heaven that Colin, fully believes they will be, and me as well? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.